Welcome back, everybody, to our final segment of the afternoon, and that is of course, this NFL segment here on the Talk with AVC. Now, how to start this after another cringeworthy, strange week of football? It's just a strange season, guys. Let's just be honest with that. Not a lot of diversity in the league this year. It's just a lot of the same. So what am I going to say here? Well, I'm done with Dallas. Done with Dallas. They're not going anywhere past maybe the divisional round. And here's why. They can't beat a good defense. They played good defenses 3 times this year, and they've lost every single time. New Orleans, Minnesota, and New England. Now, Minnesota, I'll give them a little bit of leeway against because Minnesota's offense actually did something. The New England and New Orleans offenses in that game, I believe, put up both under 16 points, and Dallas couldn't get a touchdown. I mean, what are you doing? You talk about Dak leading the league in passing yards and having this amazing season, but I'm just not seeing it translate on the field. I mean, as Jerry Jones said, with the talent on this team, you shouldn't be this frustrated with them. But we are. But people are. And somebody's got to be to blame. I don't know if you can really blame it all on Jason Garrett. I mean, maybe they just need a culture change. But, Dallas, they've lost their identity. I mean, what's the identity now? They used to be an indoor pound-the-rock team that built off the run with Zeke and then worked on the pass game with Dak. Now they've lost it. First off, you're outside in a rainstorm in New England. Shouldn't that be a Zeke game? Dallas had the ball in a third and within 3 yard 5 times in that game. They threw it 5 times. You have arguably one of the best running backs in football on a third and short situation, and you don't even try to give him the ball. Oh, and by the way, your superstar wide receiver was locked off the whole game, didn't even record a reception. Stephon Gilmore absolutely locked him down. And, I believe we got a little overhyped with this Dallas defense last year when they played a good game against New Orleans. They hadn't really been the same since that game. They have a good linebacking core. They can make tackles. But the pass rush just isn't there. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence, yeah, he's okay, but the pass rush just hasn't been there. Where is it? And, Tom Brady, age 40, whatever, he looked comfortable back there last night. Yeah, he had no weapons, so he had 7 drops, and nobody could get open to save their lives, but he looked comfortable. How do you win 90% of the time in football? Make your quarterback comfortable, make theirs uncomfortable. That's how you win in the NFL. That didn't really happen this week. And it didn't happen against New Orleans, and it didn't happen against Minnesota. Kirk Cousins, he looked really comfy back there throwing the ball. You made Teddy Bridgewater comfortable. I mean, what are you doing? Dallas, every time they've had a chance to make a statement, to win a big game this year, they just can't do it. I mean, even against the Jets, Sam Darnold looked comfortable. He looked calm, reserved, throwing the ball against Dallas. Dallas, they got to get their stuff. They got to get their whole act together, or they're going to go down the tubes in the first round. It's going to happen, especially against some of these teams in the NFC. You run into a wild card team, and you end up getting stuck with Seattle or San Fran just because they're going to be one of the wild card teams. Whew, you're in for a rude awakening, Dallas. You really are. Speaking of the NFC East, I'm done with the NFC East in general, but I'm done with the Eagles now too. Look, Carson Wentz is a shell of himself. He's been a shell of himself ever since that MVP season. I don't know if it's another injury. We're probably going to get some other excuse at the end of this year. He just is inaccurate. He just can't really. He just doesn't have the same accuracy. He doesn't have the same X factor he had during his MVP season. He just doesn't look the same. The Eagles made a choice between him and Nick Foles. I'm not going to say it was the wrong decision to keep Wentz. He was younger, but they signed him to a reasonable contract for a quarterback. But he just doesn't look the same. And I mean, yes, his receivers are god awful, but Tom Brady's making it work. Yeah, I mean, yes and no, but I mean, they brought back Jay Ajayi to run the ball. Couldn't really do much against Seattle this week. They looked abysmal. And even after Seattle was giving you chances, you couldn't really do anything. The offensive line is a shell without Lane Johnson. Without Lane Johnson, that offensive line is... I mean, Lane Johnson and Brandon Brooks are down. Come on, what are you going to do on the right side of that O-line? Your right side of the O-line is mush. And this defense, the secondary is just a huge problem. It was a problem in their Super Bowl year, but it's becoming even more glaring now as the pass rush has regressed a little bit. That's why they got away with it in their Super Bowl year. You had Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and all those guys initiating a ferocious pass rush that year. This year, it's just not happening, and I don't really know why, but this has quickly been revealed as an incredibly top-heavy roster with a lot of B players who were underperforming. It's just ugly to watch. And this was a team that had some serious aspirations coming into the year. I mean, they lost to Atlanta this year. All the games they've lost this year, they've been ugly. They've been ugly losses. They just don't have it right now. Continue with this segment. Done with the Rams. Yeah, they got whooped last night on Monday Night Football by Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I was kind of done with them before that, but this was kind of like their Alamo. This was their last stand. They had to win this game at home, and they got whooped. Jared Goff, since November, has no touchdowns, 4 interceptions, only like 456 yards. He signed the highest contract in NFL history this past beginning of the season. Was it worth it, Rams? I mean, I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. The Rams look like a team that some 11-year-old kid made on Madden. Got in season mode on Madden and made this team. There's no emphasis on the old line. You got the best pass rush, you got the best corner, you got all these great wide receivers, you got a great running back, you got an okay quarterback, you got a great coach, but you got no O-line. Offense cannot operate. Their offensive line on Pro Football Focus is ranked, I believe, 30th. It's worse than some teams that have losing records. And, the defense is becoming Swiss cheese. I mean, the secondary is old. It just has no speed in it, other than Jalen Ramsey. The linebacking core doesn't look that great. Aaron Donald's seems like he's the only guy trying. I'm just done with the Rams, and in that division with the Seahawks and the Niners and the wild card filling up, they're not going to make it. Call it Super Bowl hangover, call it what you will. The Rams have regressed, and they've regressed quickly. Kyle Allen bounces back. So Kyle Allen, even though Carolina ended up losing the game because of a Jason Slide missed field goal from 28 yards, that was pathetic. Kyle Allen bounced back this week. And against the Saints, that is considered one of the better offenses. Yes, Christian McCaffrey had 2 touchdowns and however many rushing yards. But Kyle Allen makes some good throws. Yes, DJ Moore bailed him out. But Kyle Allen made some good throws this week. He looks better than he did against Atlanta. I was ready to say throw in Will Grier for the Panthers. But, with this, they're somewhat back on track. They're going to need to rattle off some wins here if they're going to try to make the wild card. But they're in a better situation to do so than they looked after that Atlanta game. And we move on to the architect of more bad news is the AFC. I'm just going to say it. The AFC is a joke. It's a joke, and it's pathetic. You look at the AFC, this has been said a few times, but the only quarterbacks to make it out of the AFC for the Super Bowl in the last 10 years, there's 4 guys. Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, and Joe Flacco made it once. You get what I mean here? It's the same teams every year, and it's just boring. I mean, the Chiefs never make it anywhere. They're the same thing. They look flashy in the regular season, and then they bomb. Jacksonville every once in a while, they'll creep up, and then they bomb. The Ravens will come every once in a while, and they'll make it in. Yeah, okay. Broncos and Colts will make it in every once in a while. Yeah, but then they'll bomb, or they'll lose their quarterback, and then they're done. Patriots stay in there, and the Steelers stay in there. And I'm going to represent even more of how the AFC is a joke this year. The Jets right now, the New York Jets, the New York pathetic Jets, who were the laughingstock of football for a while, are now 2 games out of a 2 games out of a wild card spot. They're 4-7. They just beat up on the Raiders this week. I like the Raiders. I think they're a good coach team. Unfortunately, when you have a good coach team, Sometimes you just get out talented, and that's what happened this week. The Jets have looked better in recent weeks ever since the Giant game, but they're on a 3-game win streak. But I don't know. I don't really. Who the heck knows at this point, honestly? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe the Jets can make the playoffs and lose in the first round. I mean, you have the Jets, the Steelers. Does anybody really look like they're going to challenge New England or Baltimore in the AFC? No, they really don't. And I think another is you got the Freddie Kitchens Cleveland Brown clown show now. That's probably going to make the playoffs, and I've mentioned this again because they're really weak schedule on the back end. They got Cincinnati twice, they got Pittsburgh again. I could definitely see them making the playoffs at like a 9-7, 10-6, and I'd be laughingly hysterical because they're not a good team and they're going to get destroyed. I wouldn't see any of these teams getting past Houston, and Houston can't get past New England or Baltimore. The only team that I could see maybe pulling one off is Buffalo. Buffalo, they've won the games they're supposed to win. They've lost the couple games that they were expected to lose. So you know what you're getting with Buffalo. This is a big test for them this week in Dallas. Now, I know I just ranked on Dallas. Buffalo has a serious chance for a bit of an upset this week in Dallas. Yeah, I'm going to be rooting for them. I hope they pull it off, honestly. I really do. But Josh Allen's going to have to take a few more steps a little bit more quickly here. And the offense is going to continue to have to keep pace with how well the defense is playing. Honestly, they need an identity, and they need it now. But they are the best chance of a diverse AFC. Yeah, the Steelers just suck. Let's just say that. Okay, so so again, talking about the AFC, the Texans and the Chiefs are one-trick teams. I know I just went into a segment earlier about how quarterbacks, everybody wants elite quarterback play and they win sometimes. Yeah, but once you get to the playoffs, you need more of a team. And the Chiefs and Texans are one-trick ponies. They have their top receiver, they have a mediocre O-line, they have their great quarterback, they have some flashy pass rushers, but they don't really do anything outside of win the games they're supposed to win. So that's kind of what happens with them. They're one-trick ponies. Back to the Bills, I really do think they're maybe a year or two away. I think they're good, but I just don't think they're ready yet. I think they're just going to need a little more time. The Niners run the NFC. Wow, what the heck happened on Sunday Night Football? This is supposed to be one of the best matchups of the year. The Packers, the Niners, and the Packers got absolutely washed. I would say something else, but I'm on air. They got washed, and God, it was ugly. It was really ugly. I'm waiting to hear. Kudos to my buddy Max. He's off in the Marines now. He's a huge Packer fan. He didn't have to witness this week. Good, thank God for him. But I'm waiting to hear, and sorry for saying this, buddy, but I'm waiting to hear the next Aaron Rodgers excuse. What's it going to be this time? Is it the O-line? Is he playing injured? Did your defense blow it again? What's the excuse this time? What is it this time? Your defense played solid. You couldn't score. You had the ball for 35 minutes. You put up 8 points. I mean, come on. What are you doing with that? What do you want with that? He just did not play well. They couldn't get the run game going. Green Bay, I wanted to have faith in you this year. I really did. But this whole up and down play you're doing, it just doesn't do it for me. They're going to be a team. They're going to be a typical Green Bay. They're going to get into the playoffs. They're going to overhype everybody. They're going to win a wildcard round, probably against like Dallas or something. And then they'll lose second round to some team that just has the firepower to knock them off. That's what happened. They're a good team. They're not a great team. I think this week showed that. We're going to cover the Saints again here really quick. The Saints offense finally stepped up this week. That was good to see for them, at least. Drew Brees stepped up big time this week. There's been a lot of talk about Michael Thomas being the best wide receiver in the NFL. I'm going to say he's maybe top 10. He's top 6, top 7, maybe even top 5. I'm not going to say he's top 10. He's the top receiver. I would still put Julio and DeAndre Hopkins above him. I could be persuaded to maybe put him 3 or 4, but I still just maybe 3. I think I could probably put him at 3. Just given the fact that there's no AB right now and Odell is not doing well with the Browns, it's Mike Evans is up and down. It's probably easy to give Michael Thomas just based off consistency. he's easy to lump into the third spot right there. But 90% of his plays are within 10 yards, and he just gets a lot of receptions. He's basically a tight end that is too thin. And it works for them. So what teams are officially done and what teams and fan bases should just be looking forward to the draft and the offseason at this point? Well, I'll tell you really quickly. Miami, you're done. Cincy, you're done. Jacksonville, you're done. Chargers, you're done. Denver, you're done. Do I really need to go into any of these? Their records are abysmal. Giants, you're done. I think Philly's done. Washington, you're done. Chicago, I've been saying you're done for weeks. Mitch Trubisky, again, barely beat the Giants this week. And the defense beat the Giants, not Mitch Trubisky. Let's be honest with that one. Lions, you're done without Stafford. I do think you'll win on Thanksgiving, though. That'd be fun to watch. You beat Chicago on Thanksgiving. That'd be hilarious. Tampa Bay, Atlanta, you're done. Rams, Cardinals, you're done. So we're going to cover one or two other things here really quickly as we're moving in here. Dwayne Haskins gets his first win as a starter for the Redskins, and he misses the final kneel down to take a selfie. That doesn't sum up his character in a nutshell. I don't know what does. I think that's just perfect for him. So we're going to take a quick look at the playoff seeding as it would look right now. We're going to start with the AFC, with Kansas City and Houston winning their divisions. Baltimore and New England as the top two seeds. Right now in the first round, it would be Houston versus Pittsburgh and Kansas City versus Buffalo. Lowest seed would play New England. Highest seed would play Baltimore out of that. We've got Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, Oakland, Tennessee, who all have the same record. I think Pittsburgh has the tiebreakers right now because I believe they lost the Colts. But I think they beat Oakland. I'm not sure. But that's really what I see here. And then you go down to the NFC. San Fran and New Orleans occupying the top two seeds, and then Green Bay and Dallas in the middle. As of right now, Seattle would be playing Dallas, and Minnesota would be playing Green Bay. I'd think Green Bay and Seattle would come out of that, and it would be Green Bay against San Fran and New Orleans against Seattle. That'd be some really interesting playoff football to watch. I think it'd be fun. In terms of people who could sneak in, the Rams just lost this week, but the NFC is a little bit more locked down than the AFC, partly just because there's more top-heavy teams as of right now, which is unusual for the NFC, but it's the case. Chicago isn't even that far out of the playoff spot, and I've been saying they're done. Same thing with Philly and Carolina. The NFL is just a dumpster fire this year, let's just be honest, but I do look forward to enjoying some Thanksgiving football this week. All right, well, thank you all very much for watching. Appreciate everybody watching. If you have any comments or thought anything I said was absolutely outrageous, or you're just raging because I said your favorite team sucks, head over to the comment section in any one of my videos or check out my other segments if you haven't already. Thank you all very much for watching here on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon here on WICR, A Talk with AVC. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week, I think. Yeah, probably next week.